Welcome to the Estate Professionals Mastermind podcast. This community is about providing value first, and rather than having one interaction, one transaction, and one payday from the work you do, we're here to teach you to build so much more.
Welcome, everybody, to the weekly Probate Mastery Group Coaching Call on the Estate Professionals Mastermind podcast. Our great host, Bill Gross, has taken some time off, so it fell back to me. So for those of you who are new to the community, I'm the guy that started all this. You probably heard my voice in a course or two. Bill's been gracious enough to kind of be the host and the trainer, the coach for you guys. Well, let's talk about the EARN course. Bud, you brought that up. Thank you for the compliment. I want to congratulate everybody and Donna, Wando, I don't know if you're here, but congrats to everyone who has completed the course and taken action on it and the results you're getting. I think that's something that has been stuck in my head for way too long, and it's so rewarding to see that if you guys haven't watched the testimonial videos, within 4 days we have students who have gotten multiple deals from a half a dozen attorneys. 2 days taking the course, 1 day taking action, 4 days of appointments, and multiple deals. So it's really cool to actually see that come, like the real world results from something that I should have done a long time ago. But really glad you guys got value from it. Really glad to see, like today in the Facebook group, I saw at least 2 people who were in the county courthouses and making accountability posts of, hey, we're doing it. So that's really cool to see. I'm really grateful that so many people found value in the course. Before we jump to questions and commentary and fun conversation, there's one other thing that I want to, this is kind of an early announcement. It's not completely finished. But if you look at the URL that I just dropped in the chat, estateprofessional.org is the next step in adding more value to you guys. So this is a national directory that we are creating. So you guys might know Grant Cox has a national referral list that we've ran in our Facebook group for quite a while. And it's just a simple Google sheet where if you have someone, for example, when you find an ancillary probate, so you're in Dallas and then they have a second home in Summit County, Colorado, they have a ski condo. Well, you might need to look up someone who works Summit County. I see Dave Gwynn is here. So he's a good example. He's just outside. I mean, he's in the Denver market, but he could go list that condo. And that referral directory is a pretty basic tool that we've had where you can find other people that you can send those referrals to. This is a whole different level of that. Not only is it a CPE referral database where you guys will have special placement in this directory because you are certified probate experts, we want you to have your vendors in there too. The more people we have in it, the more valuable it becomes. The idea is to create a consumer-facing tool where when somebody needs a professional, they can come here, know that they have a vetted, trained professional to connect with. So for example, if you're a estate sale partner, if your vendor team is in there, and your estate sale partner is who appeals to the consumer based on where they are in the probate right now, guess who the estate sale partner has as a real estate partner? You. So we're broadening your surface area by, I think most of you probably have at least a dozen, probably approaching 20 people on your vendor team. So we're giving you 20 points of consumer contact that come back and funnel the referrals toward you. In addition, you have access to the thousands of CPEs across the country that you can send your real estate referrals to. So the more professionals we have in this directory, the more valuable it is to the consumers and to us. So this is a very basic first iteration of it. You can go to estateprofessional.org and sign up right now. You will get an email and some more specific instructions and training on this. It's just literally just being developed. McKenna is just finishing it right now. And a huge shout out to her for taking this project on and getting it done. So this is something I think adds a lot of value, whether you're an EARN student or probate mastery or both. In both courses, we rely heavily on our vendor partners and those referral networks. And this is just a way to make the work you've already done more valuable and give you more surface area and exposure to consumers. So you can follow the link in the chat for anyone who's watching this as a recorded version. You can see in the show notes below, estateprofessional.org. We'll send messages out on, best practices, how to use it. Here's some new ideas and new features and functionality. I've got a lot of ideas of where this will grow to. I just want to see how it's going to take shape, how people use it, gather some feedback, and make sure, that it grows in the right direction. So That's something new that you guys haven't heard about. So I wanted to introduce that today. If you find it buggy or you disagree with anything like the way it's set up, we're also open to feedback. You can email any of that to support@probatemastery.com or support@magnumopusproject.com. And we'll take suggestions for sure on how to make it more valuable for everybody. So that's kind of the housekeeping issues. I'm going to start with you, Bud, because you still have a green square. Tell me about your EARN course. Like how's it changed? What action did you take on it? What results have you gotten?
Well, officially I finished it this morning, and I registered on this estateprofessional.org a while ago. It's not too buggy. It's not too bad. I just had to pay closer attention.
How did you find it?
What's that?
How did you find estateprofessional.org? We've had we've had a ton of people register, and this is the first time anyone's been told about it.
Well, it was at the bottom of the EARN course.
Oh, that just happened yesterday. Okay, I can see what you got it. Okay, we had last week. We're like, where are all these people coming from? We had like vendors actually entering themselves into it. So, one of the other uses for this, guys, is as vetted companies that come into this, you'll be able to build your vendor team. Just say, hey, I'm in Illinois, and you can potentially build your vendor team, from someone that prescribes to the same values that we do in this community. So I'd forgot we had already put it in the course. Good job, bud.
Yeah, just a button at the bottom. I do have a question generally about the EARN or the estate execs. Okay.
Sure. How can we help?
I don't get it exactly on what I'm buying. I already bought the license. And so that means I can use it once. If I wanted to use it for another probate, I'd buy it again. Is that right? Or if I wanted to loan it out, I can loan it out for a week for free. I'm not quite clear on all that.
I apologize, bud. I'm on Starlink internet and it did fade out. Are you asking about EstateExec?
Yeah, EstateExec. I paid the fee to get a license. Now, do I have to buy that license every time I do another PR? And also you mentioned loaning it to lawyers and giving them the free trial version. I guess if I wanted to buy it for a lawyer, it's how much? And, can you run through that part?
Sure. So you only need to pay for one license per client. The idea here is to use the nation's leading software tool to help executors. So this is a consumer-facing tool. We have partnered with EstateExec exclusively, so you can actually use that to your own benefit. And if you read the letter that's in that section of the EARN course, the letter essentially says, hey, we realize how stressful it can be, especially early on, dealing with stacks of papers and trying to manage inventories and lists of assets and liabilities and all the heirs and getting that all together for your attorney. Here's a paper checklist to help you out with that. If you'd rather take that to the next level, here's some software that we'll provide for free. Now, the call to action in that letter is please call me so I can get you set up. Obviously, in a direct mail campaign, we want the phone to ring. So it's a very soft touch. Like we're not even mentioning real estate or titling ourselves as real estate professionals. The idea is to get the phone to ring, get their first name, last name, email address, and then let the conversation go where it will. They have a 10-day trial. So they'll get to use the software for free for 10 days. If you have contacted EstateExec at this point right now, you as a certified probate expert can contact EstateExec support team and request to be put in as a service provider. So you will actually come up in their checklist when it says, hey, it's time to talk to your local probate expert. Then Bud Thompson will come up in the Des Moines, Iowa checklist, like Nebraska. Sorry, Nebraska. I don't know. It's been too long, but Bud would come up in the Nebraska checklist for that state as the probate expert. So when they reached out to talk to a probate expert, they'd be like, oh, aren't you the guy that gave me this software? Yeah, actually I am. It's something we do for every family. So that's another call to action that might bring them back to you. At the end of the 10-day trial, you have a choice to make. If they want to continue using the software, you can pay the $85 license fee, and it's a one-time fee. The consumer fee is $200, but we've negotiated it down for you guys, so it's only $85, and that's locked in. So you can pay $85 for them to continue to use the software. Now, this gives you the ability to be the hub where you can actually share that whole estate with an attorney. You can share it with an estate sale company so they can see the inventory. You can share it to whomever you want, obviously with their permission. We've also made the development changes where that you can say, okay, you know, if you don't want me to see all of this, or if I'm no longer associated because the real estate's already sold, then you can give it back to them where they are the account owner or the license owner. But it's on a case, but right now it's a case by case basis. So you start with a 10-day free trial. And then if they are finding value in the software and they choose to continue using you as a professional, then you have a choice to make. Is it worth $85 for me to keep having these conversations with this person? It's probably cheaper than direct mail and phone campaigns and all that stuff. Yeah. So the idea is an early value piece to get them to communicate with you often, so you build that relationship. And when it comes time to sell the real estate, who are they going to talk to? You're the one they're coming to for advice on everything. Now, as far as the attorneys, Bud, your specific question, if you bought this $85 license, the family is using the software, and you can simply just add the attorney's email address and it will send them a copy of the estate. There is a back-end software for attorneys. A part of EstateExec is for professionals. And we're still working with their team on how to tie the estateprofessional.org directory to the consumer-facing EstateExec, to the professional-facing EstateExec. So it all kind of works as a suite, and we're all, it's all one interconnected software tool for the community. But that's kind of what it is and how we intend for it to work. Any other questions on that?
Okay, so it all starts with a list of personal representatives and estate files, which I'd have to get from ATL or somebody, right?
Yep.
Got it. Okay.
But over time, and you should go ahead and do this if you haven't, contact their team and go ahead and get yourself in there as a certified probate expert. That way, when somebody from Omaha, Nebraska finds EstateExec, whether they're on a list or not, you will come up in the checklist. So you'll earn referrals from being part of the software, or you'll receive business, you'll get phone calls. And right now that's a kind of on a case by case basis. We haven't uploaded all CPEs in because, and I really appreciate this, Dan and his team at EstateExec, they want to make sure that the people they're highlighting as a probate expert are in fact probate experts, and they are not just a realtor or investor begging for business, harassing families, but they actually do have a team that can bring value to the family. So not everybody, I would hope anyone who's on this call is going to get to be allowed in there, but anyone listening to this recording that might not have taken our courses and you haven't built a team and you don't have a valuable offer for the community, you're probably not going to be put in there. And we've got to find right now that those decisions are being made, by personal vetting. So tell us about your business, show us your website. Like how can you prove that you can actually be helpful to these families? Because it's very important to them. We're not just putting in a bunch of deal hungry real estate professionals who don't want to help with anything else, because that's really not what we prescribe to here, right?
Okay, I got you. All right, appreciate the help.
Yeah. All right, Steve Carney, good to see you. Action Jackson, it's nice to see you back here. It was so long ago we were on calls together. Glenda has got the course and is ready to dig in. Awesome. Any other questions? Oh, I see Lou has a hand up. How can we help you, Lou?
I spoke to Dan last week, and he said, so basically he walked me through it, and he said that you don't even have to buy the license. You set up your account, and then you can actually send out invitation. Right, basically, and then
you don't have to buy. You start with a 10-day trial.
Okay.
So you can sign up. You start with a 10-day trial, and then at the end of the 10 days, then you make a choice whether you buy it for your client or prospect, or if for example, if they don't have real estate or they intend on keeping the real estate, and there's no way for you to monetize the deal, then you can just transition and say, well, listen, let me do you a favor. There's not a whole lot I can do to help you, but instead of you paying $200 for this, you can, go here and use this link and you can pay $85. So you're still getting some social credit for doing them some good. But really remember what we learned in Probate Mastery and every other conversation we've ever had, just because these families don't have real estate with a high motivation to sell doesn't mean they're not valuable to your business, right? We can turn them into private lenders. We can help them become investors. We can sell them, take the proceeds from the estate and sell them investment property. So it's probably still worth $85 to be like, to, in the eyes of the personal representative, to be a local expert and professional. I would pay $85 for that, because anytime they need anything, they're going to call me and they're going to see me as a valuable resource in the community. And that's worth $85.
And then he said, as far as the referral part, they're very specific about what shows up on your webpage or your website regarding what your services are.
Yeah. What they want to see is essentially what we taught in Probate Mastery is you have, if they call and need to get a suitable living situation for a disabled senior, do you have a social worker in your network? Can you refer them to somebody you trust locally? If they need a senior moving company, do you have that? Like, do you have like a white glove senior mover? So just, are you truly, a local expert that's well connected where you can actually help them find other people that might not be listed in the directory? That's kind of the filter that they're passing people through. The biggest thing is they just don't want someone on there that's going to say, oh yeah, I do it all. And then every time a lead hits, they're like, hey, I'll buy your house 50 cents on the dollar. I got cash, close fast. I'm going to get there today, using fear tactics and aggressive tactics. That's what's important to them that we don't end up with on their platform, which I'm not accusing anyone here of, but it's what we do want to avoid. All right. Kat has said in the notes, licenses are for individual executors. If you're buying a license, it would be on behalf of an executor. Yeah. So just to clear that up, you're buying the license on behalf of your potential client. Bruce Johnson, you're up. I see your hand up first. How are you?
How you doing? Good, good. So I reached out to this attorney. I only talked to him 2 times, and he sent me an email the other day, and he's putting me in front of some people that have an estate here. They've got a couple of properties they've got. So that's really, appreciated that. And lo and behold, this morning, I called one of my past clients, and actually their parent had died this month. And so he was scrambling for an attorney. So guess who I called?
That's amazing.
So I gave because of the anti-solicitation laws, I gave the attorney the information, plus I gave the contact information for that attorney to my client. So he's and the attorney says, hey, listen, I'll give him a free consultation. I said, that's great. And by the way, like through
before we move on.
Sure.
Before we get to your, by the way, what's your next step? Like, you've made that connection. Now what? You just let them go on your own, or what's your next step?
Yeah, well, there's no property left with my client, so the property's already been sold, so that's fine with that. Yeah, and so for the attorney, I'm going to follow up with my client to make sure that he has actually called the attorney, and so they had a conversation, because it's a free consultation. But one of the things I wanted to mention was that during my second phone call with that attorney, he told me that they're really strong on litigation in probate. So that's something that was good to know. It's like, oh, okay, this is their specialty. They will do admin, but he said that we really focus in on litigation. He says that's where we feel we're really good at. So that's a really good source to have in case that pops up.
Yeah, no, and that's where, when your other attorneys are struggling, like when a deal goes sideways, when a case goes sideways on them, if they don't have the litigation, the proven track record, then you can refer him another, referral from one of your other attorneys and bail them out.
Right.
What I was alluding to earlier, like, a great job on quickly reciprocating a referral to the attorney. He'll never forget that. Take it a step further. Make sure you take John Fraker's advice. And as he put it, the CPAs, the registered investment advisors, they never take their hand off of a referral.
Right.
They see it all the way through. And if you follow up with that person and say, just wanted to make sure you connected with Joe, how did it go? Do you feel like he's a good fit? they're going to respect that. And if they ever get to a point where they have a $200,000 inheritance check and they know you're a real estate professional, just make sure you're mentioning some of those things that you can provide. Like, oh, by the way, I'm glad we could connect you. Joe is in my network because I am a real estate professional, but we predominantly focus on families, going through this. But what we oftentimes find is those families oftentimes want to buy real estate after the estate is settled. So if you guys want to know what your options are for looking at investment real estate, vacation real estate, becoming a lender to actually fund investment real estate in our market to double your money every 3 or 4 years, just, we're always here if we can help you in any other ways. It's just a really good point, a contact point, a reason to follow up and let them know, hey, we can help in all these different ways. But that's really good, man. So referral earned, referral given in a week. That's great.
Thanks.
Next is Jalen, right?
Jalen, yeah.
Jalen.
No, you're good. So I just bought the course recently. I'm on the part regarding the vendor team. So I had talked to Pace Morby like back in 2019. So I wholesale and I also I'm a licensed realtor as well too. Got my license back in December.
Good for you, man.
Appreciate it.
You got a full toolbox.
Yeah. He had told me about, contacting probate attorneys at this time. This before he was teaching and things like that. So I actually started up a company. I was tapping into it and I seen your class and I just started taking it. So I literally yesterday got a call, I think last week. So I have a lady to where her husband passed back in March. And the thing is her stepson came in the property, took a few things, and he had tried to start the probate process itself. And she didn't know because she at first was saying, oh, well, he has a will, so I shouldn't have to go through this. I had to explain to her yesterday. It was my first time meeting her yesterday. I had to explain to her, like, well, first you would need a trust to avoid probate, right? And she didn't know that at the time. So her thing is now, right, she had her stepson trying to start this process, and I think he was trying to get something, but after he found out she actually had a will, he kind of let everything go. So they was already in court, and the attorney and also her stepson had let everything go. So now she's in a space to where she had also hired her own probate attorney. She already gave him $1,000 or $2,000. She told me he didn't do anything. So she's in a space like, hey, she's trusting me right now. I came in, I was like, I don't really want to talk about the property. I want to see how I can help you in this situation. I had been through this process. I lost my father a few years ago. And that's why, for me personally, I felt like this was like the perfect route for me because I understand what these people are going through. So I was explaining that to her. And then also too, I'm like, I want to just see how I can help you through this process. So the only thing is, well, one, I just started this, so I haven't really connected with any probate attorneys. So my thing is, I don't want to direct her to the wrong probate attorney. How she's looking at me like, oh, well, one, I'm not, because her other thing is she's not trying to give up any money as well too. Right. So like I had told her, maybe I can have somebody to talk to her for like an hour and just see how can we either, because she's guaranteed to sell the property, but I think that property is not, she's trying to just sell it, but that property is more of a listing. It's nice, real nice. It's not for a wholesale. I told her that yesterday, but I want to see if it's possible if I can have a probate attorney, even if he wants something up front, of course, but put the rest on the back end once he sells the property.
So here's my best advice on this one. You've already got 2 probate attorneys. Let's make sure we get rid of them if we're going to bring a third one into the fold. Right. Because they just, as a general rule, they're confident people. They're ego driven, right?
Right.
So you're likely to create an even more adversarial position among competing attorneys for the same limited funds. And so the first question, like, let's hold back on that. Okay. You didn't say this. Has the stepson actually abdicated his role as personal representative? Or that's what
That's what he was trying to do. I think all she told me once he figured out that they had a will, that she said she talked to the attorney and him. They both just said, hey, I don't want anything to do with this. So I think when she went to court, one, they didn't show up. And then she's lost. She went to court and the judge was like, well, you still got to go through the probate process. So you got to get an attorney of your own. And she's lost, right? She's like, well, I could do it myself. I told her, I'm like, I don't think you can do it yourself. I'm like, I think you need a license, probate attorney. And then she was
no, she can definitely do it pro se. It's not usually a good idea.
Yeah. Okay.
So here's what I'll say. You've you're empathetic to this because you've been through it. You remember the fog you were in when you lost your dad and you had to keep all that stuff straight in your head, and like there's holes in your memory. You like there's entire days you don't even remember.
Yeah, correct.
When working with families, especially ones in contentious positions like this, you have to trust but verify. It could be the case the attorney told her exactly what to do. She didn't even remember it, didn't comply.
Right.
These other emotions were spinning around because her stepson was overstepping his bounds and convoluting the whole thing. And the attorney might have said, why don't you come back when you've got your shit together, respectfully.
Right.
What I would recommend doing is she's trusting you to run point on this right now. That speaks hugely to the conversation you had. You did it right. What I would do is get her permission to visit or talk to each of the attorneys. Call and get their side of the story before you take action, because they may be waiting for her to do something they told her to do. And the reason they didn't show up for court is because she hadn't done what she said she would, and they weren't ready for court that day. But make sure you truly get the attorney's side of the story before you take action. Okay. I'm not saying that it could very well could be the attorney's fault. They could be overwhelmed. They may just suck at what they do, but make sure you verify that first. Yeah. The other thing is on her behalf, when you talk to that attorney, say, have you taken payment? And you may actually do this as a conference call and just ask her to be there, because there is attorney-client privilege at stake if she's retained them, But if the person they're fiduciary to, the client, is on the phone and you're on the phone, she's giving you permission to ask these questions. Right. Try to straighten it out with one of the two and get them back on track first. Okay. If you determine that they don't deserve to be on this case and that they are at fault, then you need to be direct on her behalf and say, okay, so we don't proceed with this estate without your help, and then get an invoice. What does it take to close out this attorney-client relationship? We want to end this right here, right now, and get her out of it. Like black and white, no question. Like, don't just go on and do it, because if they submit invoices to the estate later, like, is she going to be willing to pay those? So clear that up now. Just say, I want to be clear. Have you been compensated for the services you provided? Is this attorney-client relationship severed here? And get an email at least. But I would try to clean up that mess first. Okay. The next thing you need to figure out is, did the stepson officially abdicate his role as administrator? First of all, did the will appoint that stepson as the executor, or did he overstep his bounds and petition to be administrator?
It's funny. She showed me the papers. I think she is. The will, I think, appoints her. Okay. Yeah. I'm
really shocked that the judge that he issued letters on that. If there was a valid will, and without the executrix being present, he appointed the stepson as an administrator. What you might find is that the stepson may have the letters of testamentary, but they might have her name on them. She may be the one with authority.
Right. So she showed me everything, because basically what he was trying to do, he came in the property when she wasn't there. He basically told the probate attorney, hey, we don't have a will. And she was trying to tell him, like, there is a will, I just can't find it. She ended up finding the will. It appoints what she gets, her stepson, him, and also I think the grandchildren as well. And she showed me that, and that's when I think his attorney probably was like, well, it's nothing that,
okay, so I want like more facts are coming out. So probate he petitioned for probate, right? Himself as the petitioner, becoming the administrator, saying there wasn't a will. But after the fact, the decedent's wife actually has a copy of the will, and you believe it to be valid, but the court's not aware of it.
Right, exactly. I think when they had their first court date, he didn't show up. And it's like, well, she's like, I'm here. Did
the stepson retain on those two attorneys? Who retained them, the stepson or the mother?
So she did the second one, right? He did the first one. He was like, well, I'm gonna start this probate process myself. And then once they found out it's a will, he stepped back. Then she got her own probate attorney. And now when you had said, did she like give money, she did. She was like, well, I gave him $1,000, and now this guy keeps coming back. Well, I need this, that, and the third, because we had this conversation. And then
my advice is changing in light of these facts. Okay. You need to talk to probate attorney number 2, who is retained by your prospect, who should be the rightful executrix of this will. That attorney needs to get a copy of that valid will to the court. And you've got to unravel the mess that's happened here, because stepson went and hired an attorney that, like, he's not legally a representative. He shouldn't be a legal representative of the estate. So you may just like let him clean up his own mess there. Let the attorney invoice his ass and let him clean it up, because the attorney can't invoice the estate if he was unauthorized to actually retain legal counsel on behalf of the estate. But if attorney number 2 is a good attorney and is willing to help you guys through this, what I would recommend is you approach the probate court in your county and say, listen, this should have been the petitioner. She's obviously named as the executrix in the will. We would like to submit this will to the court. And you know, I wish we had an attorney here right now. I don't know how that works in your market, but the court needs to understand that the current open probate proceeding is probably not valid, because he tried to steal the administration from her.
Right.
I would go to attorney number 2 first, give them all these facts. Say, listen, I understand, man, I just got into this mess too, but let's help her through this. And you might want to do that you might want to get copies of all the documents, take her with you, and do this one face to face.
Okay. This is one more last question. So now she's on the fence of, I don't want to deal with him at all, because he done told her, well, I'm going through this in my personal life. You know, so now it's like for her, okay, you don't even have the time to actually work out these things. And she's so much on the fence of like, I don't want to like deal with him at all. He just seemed like a money grab person, which I'm with you. I understand there's both sides to a story. So for me, I just need to hear him out. But like I said, she's so like, you know, he told me, he has a lot of family issues going on right now. He had to put this on the back end. But at the same time, he's asking for money. So he probably may be looking like, okay, I'm not getting this and that, you know. So for me, I'm not about to really focus on this right now.
So, Mrs. Smith, if you worked 80 hours a week and didn't get paid for 9 months for all the hard work you've done, wouldn't you ask for a retainer too? Right. So you may perceive it as unreasonable, but I understand his business as a probate professional. I understand what he's going through on his end. Can we agree to just give him the benefit of the doubt that it's not a money grab? He's just trying to keep the lights on, and we can have a grown-up conversation to try to get this unraveled. If I get a read on him that he's greedy, or if he's stepping out of bounds, I'll tell you when I think we need to fire him and find the right attorney. But can we at least try, since you've already paid $1,000, can we at least approach him, have an adult conversation, and see if he is the right person? And I can't wait to watch you ask him across the table how he's going to be different going forward than he has been so far. And I got your back in that. And give her some confidence, but get a commitment that she'll, approach that attorney, not just shut down. Because if she's paid $1,000 retainer, I mean, that's worth probably 5 hours of his time. Right. And it sounds like she's really emotional and is good at pointing fingers. Yeah. So even though you're looking to be a fiduciary to this person, again, trust but verify, right. It sounds like you're going to be the intermediary in this, and you're going to be the one that she trusts and maybe the buffer between the attorney. And it sounds like it's probably worth it, because there's a valuable piece of real estate that you're going to probably sell for her, right?
Right, correct. Yeah.
Is her intent, have you asked her intent? Is it to sell the home?
Yeah, her husband passed in the home. So like for her, she wants to sell ASAP. And she wants to just a cash offer and get it off quick, which I can't wholesale, but I kind of was honest with her. I'm like, this may be more. I don't like the realtor part, but more I wholesale. That's my number one thing. But to be honest, what I told her honestly, this might be more for you to probably list the property. I'm like, you can go this route, but to be honest, this is a real nice property. She did everything to the property. I was like, it might make more sense for you to list the property.
Yeah. Is the house in the probate, or did it pass? Oftentimes, if they're husband and wife as tenants in the entirety, oftentimes the house it's not even part of the probate.
Well, I know it's in a will, if that's what you're asking.
That's okay. That doesn't mean it's part of probate. It's state law. Like the way it was titled can pass it from spouse A to spouse B outside of probate.
Oh, okay. He's the only one on title.
Okay, then it has to be probated. Where I was going with that is you may have a really, really great owner financing deal there, where you could offer it on the retail market with owner financing in a high interest rate environment, and then not get beat up on during a price correction. You could sell at yesterday's value without an appraisal and get her all that money over time. But it's got to clear probate if she wasn't on title.
Right. Okay. I got you.
So it sounds like you got a little bit of work to do, but a nice reward at the end of it. And it sounds like you got a really emotional prospect, but she could make a good client with good leadership. So I would start with attorney number 2, try to get them back on good terms. If you can't do that, then look for a fresh attorney to start that relationship with. If you are in communication with the stepson, if it were me, I'd tell him to go clean up his own mess and pay that attorney. We better not see invoices on the estate. Right. It's going to cost the estate more now because of his recklessness. The estate's going to have higher legal fees because you got billable hours to go clean up his mess. Right. So tell him to stay in his lane if he wants his money.
Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Stephen Hughes, how can we help you, sir?
Hey, so I do a lot of mobile homes, and I've had a couple that have been probated, but I recently got hired by one of the mobile home mortgage companies to do their eviction cleanouts and repossessions and such. I've done one, I just got to send them an invoice, but I have another one where the tenant's actually in there and they're wanting me to go there with the local sheriff's deputy to serve the papers and all that. I have never done that. So I am just throwing it out there to see if you have any just sage advice about doing that sort of thing.
I mean, I'm assuming they're not paying you massive amounts of money to do.
The first one was like $300. I went in, took pictures, and then they sold it. This one, they'll pay me to do it, but then, so I have a dealer's license, and then I'm also a real estate agent. 20% of the mobile homes for sale in Salt Lake County are mine. It's a big deal of what I do, and they reached out to me. This one, they'll probably hire me to list, but it depends on the repairs that have to go into it as well. Because it's technically a car. That's what this one's looking like, is I'll get that upfront money to do this, but then, I'll either flip it or just list it as a normal house and get paid a commission or some sort of margin because they want to recoup their costs as well.
Yeah. So they're asking you to go do the clean out just on the heels of the sheriff, like whatever's there gets thrown away today. Is that why they're asking you to do this?
Yes, they want me to get there with the sheriff, have them served, get the keys, have the keys changed, and then, basically secure the property and then do a clean out and get it ready to put on the market.
Are you comfortable putting your life on the line?
Well, it doesn't bother me. I'll be there at the deputy, and I always pack when I go to mobile home parks because I've met crazy people.
Yeah, the deputy's going to go home after he's done his part. He's going to go home. It's his job to vacate the property. Like if you're there just changing the locks, my advice is, to earn the business and keep that relationship, go secure the property and then get the hell away from it and let things calm down for a few days. Okay. Don't do your clean out the same day. You might find yourself at the end of a drunk shotgun barrel after dark. I would let the emotions settle and I would secure the property. If that's their request, I would do it while the sheriff is present in case anything blows up, let him deal with it. And then I would just be real busy for a few days and until I could get back, then get back there and do your clean out later. I wouldn't do it same day because yes, I have seen it and it's very emotional. Oftentimes everything they own is in piles on the porch because someone's locking the door and there's lots of screaming. And luckily, I've never been in a guns drawn situation, but I know it happens. So if I were you, I would do the minimum to satisfy your vendor and then come back later when things have calmed down to finish.
Okay, that's very helpful. This is my second question, unrelated. So obviously did this course trying to break into probate because I came across probate on a couple of senior deals. I have like the SRES, and I used to work with a couple of placement agencies, but man, I'm really getting away from them. I'm just going straight to like the assisted living directors. It's so much easier to deal with these placement franchises I'm really opinionated against them. But with probate taking the course and all, I actually went down to the Salt Lake County Court on Friday. I hadn't done it, but Bill Gross talks about it, and I talked to the clerk for over half an hour. Very nice. I bragged that I've never had a government employee that actually treated you with respect. But this lady was awesome. And she was like, hey, look, we do it every Wednesday morning, once a week from 9 to 9:30. It's Judge so-and-so. Come in here, but come a couple minutes early. Introduce yourself to the judge so he knows you're watching. And she goes, come every week and you'll start seeing the good attorneys here, the ones that actually are still showing up in person, and you'll see them a couple times a month and start making a list. And she said, if you have questions about them, just come talk to me. So I kind of wanted to compliment, because Bill and others have said that. I mean, when it comes to referrals and that sort of thing, I've never had anyone be that helpful. I mean, I thought the mobile.
So I'm going to offer that. I'm going to compliment you. Like I've tried to motivate thousands of people to do what you did and what Bill Gross did. Bill is one of the few people that actually did it, like that actually went and had the courage to do it. What's fun is the people who do it all come back with a very similar report to yours. Like, oh my God, they loved me. And it's because so few professionals have the courage to go do that and go say, actually, I'm not the leading expert, but I'm going to be. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to learn. I'm here to connect. I'm here to help. And you get that response. Like, these are public employees that are overworked and underpaid. When someone comes and can make their job easier, yes, they're happy to see you. They're happy to help. And I've actually done it on the phone, like remotely, done 3-way calls with people just to prove to them that you can offer real value to a probate clerk, to the judge, and I don't see Roger Lisi here, but Roger did this, and he got to the point where he was being paid as a court expert. Like, they paid him to come testify. Like, that's how far it went for him. So good for you. Like, the compliment's yours for actually going down there and doing that. I'm sure good will come from it. And if you do it consistently, like Bill does, you know, those attorneys will know you. Like, you'll start to get their referrals for probate, for trust, for divorce. That's the other thing. Roger Lisi ended up being a divorce specialist, because the probate attorneys are like, we've never worked with anyone like you. Can you do what you do in probate, but do it for this couple? And he became, you know, their go-to divorce referral. So good for you for getting out and doing that.
Yeah, it's exciting. You know, they don't want you to film in parts of the courthouse, but I did the video out front. I'm just editing it now, but dude, I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel and on TikTok and everything, because no one has that here in Salt Lake City.
That's right.
So it's like, I'm going to do that too. But yeah, it was cool. And I'll tell you, the probate stuff has made my conversations with these executive directors and sales reps, managers. They all have different titles, depends on the facility. When I say, oh, not only, you know, do I do this senior stuff, but I also, you know, serve as a probate expert, they're just like, oh my gosh, that comes up with us several times a year. And we're not attorneys. We don't know what the, you know, I mean, a couple of people will call for language, like we don't know what to do with them when they start bringing that up to us. You know, because one of them's in the community, but grandpa was still in the house and died. And now they're in probate. And then it ties up all kinds of weird stuff, and it just causes stress for them. So it's very interesting. It's a cool thing to bring up. So it's been helpful on that side of it as well, because there's a lot of overlap with the 55 plus demographic in probate. Tons of overlap.
Yeah.
Anyways, thanks for the help.
Sounds like you're doing great out there, man. Keep up the good work.
Thanks
for sharing. Deborah, how can we help you today?
Hello, it's good to see you back. This will sound redundant, but this is about the exec, whatever it's called, the licensing.
EstateExec software.
Yeah, okay. So I want to approach attorneys. I already got a couple ladies already lined up that I'm going to go and drop in, to their office. Okay, so I purchased the license first, right?
Mm-mm.
And then I offer.
No need. No.
I need like a 1, 2, 3. That's what I need.
Sure. I'll give you a 1, 2, 3 on how to approach the attorneys with that offer. That offer is actually designed to approach the personal representative. So the way that it's taught in the EARN course is you send this letter to the personal representative, giving them a paper checklist that they can use. You can choose whether you use the national checklist or if you want to make it hyper local with your attorney. That's how it's designed to be used. You're thinking outside of the box. I think you're reverse engineering here. So if you want to use that offer to attract attorney conversations, take the checklist and say, this is our national checklist that we send out to clients. I really have been looking for the right attorney or the right firm to partner with to make this hyper local. And then take a letter of that one-page letter that I wrote, so they can understand, like, and having attorneys and even the EstateExec employees read that letter, they're like, oh, this is brilliant. like developing and owning the software. They hadn't even thought of using it in that way. So what you can say to the attorney is, we will actually include this letter and this checklist in every piece of direct mail that we send out to every single estate that files every month. And I'm looking for a preferred attorney to actually send the referrals to for the ones who don't have representation. So can you help me design this checklist so it's local to our market? And, I'll repay you by sending the referrals your way. So you can use the marketing materials, and you can ask the attorney to help you customize the local probate checklist. And then that gives you an opportunity to show them that letter and how you're interacting with the estates very early in the process, and how, a lot of them have not hired attorneys yet. So most have, but about 20% of every list doesn't have representation. So for the ones who respond to that, they don't have an attorney, you send the referral to the attorney. But it gives you a great opportunity to sit down and talk with them and borrow their local knowledge to customize that. There were 2 checklists in that, and how to provide value. One was the national, and that's like not state specific at all. The other one is the national one with blanks, like fillable PDF. So you can actually sit down with the attorney and make it that your low copy of that.
Okay.
And then you can explain to them how, by being the preferred attorney in your letter, like the suggested attorney or the one sponsored by or prepared by, you're not directly soliciting them for legal services, but they see his firm name because he's the one that helped you prepare the checklist. Okay. So you're basically marketing for free on behalf of that attorney. You're asking, can I provide value to you? In return, can I get a little help making this checklist really, really local and specific?
All right. That's a big help.
Yeah. And then also remind them to be part of the directory, so you can interact with them on estateprofessional.org. Let them know that you're part of a nationwide community of estate professionals. And we now have a directory that they should probably be part of. So you can send them referrals from inside of estateprofessional.org.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah. Miriam Cruz, good to see you. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Yay. I was hoping I would get a chance to talk to you guys. I'm doing very well. Things have slowed down here in California a little bit for me, but I had a good year. So now I'm tackling some of the main objections that I get, and there's 2 that keep on coming up. One of the ones that I dealt with yesterday, which was my biggest fear, and I just kind of did what I had to do. So some of my clients, or some that I would hope would be my clients, tell me, well, my attorney said I can't hire you because they want me to work with someone. And a lot of the times the people say, but I really like you, Miriam. I want to work with you. I'm like, I know I like you too, but my attorney said absolutely not. So yesterday I called the attorney's office and I spoke with the paralegal who told my potential client not to hire me. And I said, you don't know me and you're already telling people not to hire me. And she said, because agents are full of shit, basically. And I said, yeah, but I'm not one of them. So I told her, this is who I am, and I broke it down. I used to work for the courts. I know the legal process. And she was kind of like, oh, wow. Okay, well, people are normally not like that. And she said, unfortunately, because so many agents don't know what they're doing in probate, we've only selected a few and we only want to work with these people. And I said, but you don't know me. So I think it's unfair for you to tell Marianne not to work with me. So she said, okay, let me talk to the attorney. Marianne, the client's going to come in and we'll talk to her too. Because Marianne is so cute. We just met each other weeks ago. And she said, I'm going to fight for you, Marianne, because I want you, but they won't let me. So in that sense, this is the first time that I did that. And I was literally shaking when I called the attorney's office. But now they're like affecting my business and also my ethics standards and everything that I stand for. How do I deal with that? Because it happens so often.
Okay. Before I answer, everybody on this call, you just heard the biggest reason this community is so important. And she had the courage to go stand up for her integrity and what we do here. So let's give her a round of applause, first of all. Like, that's awesome, Miriam. Like, way to believe in your value and defend that. I would have showed up in person with the prospect in tow. and we would have had probably a different conversation. But this is perfect evidence of why this community is valuable, why like by doing this a certain way is important. And you're going to see more and more of it because the population is aging and it's becoming, you know, there's just more and more numbers coming through the probate system. And honestly, more and more licensees with lower and lower levels of professionalism. So it's a really good selling point if we learn how to do that. When the first response I would have had to her, the prospect, before, let's go all the way back to before you actually did what you did. And I think you did the right thing. But my response to her would have been, why do you think that is? And that gives you an opportunity to highlight two things. One, the lack of professionalism by real estate professionals in the probate space, or the lack of knowledge and leadership. And that gives you a chance to really show why you are different. You have invested hundreds of hours. You've been part of this community. You've been active in the Facebook group. You've taken the courses. Like I see you coach other people. I see you share your success stories. You can say, I'm part of a national network of thousands of real estate professionals who hold themselves to a different ethical standard and an educational standard. And I'm willing to stand in front of that attorney and say that. What are you doing in the next 30 minutes? That would have been one way I would have taken it.
Okay.
The other thing I would have said is, that's interesting. So you hired this attorney to be your fiduciary. What that means is they have to put your interest first in every instance. And they're prejudging a real estate professional that you chose without having an opportunity to even speak to me. In my opinion and my ethics, that's a violation of their fiduciary responsibility. I may or may not ask the bar if they agree with me. But either way, let's go talk to your attorney, jump in the car. Like either way, I would put doubt in her mind if they're doing that. I would put some doubt in her mind and get her a little fired up. And you accomplish that on a phone call. I would prefer to look that paralegal in the eye and see them get all marble mouthed when they tried to justify why I like someone they didn't know. And there's a lot of different ways you can approach it, but I would have gone one of those two ways to defend my integrity. I think either way, if she wouldn't have agreed to actually allow you to approach the law firm, if you don't think you're going to have access to the firm, if they won't take your call, or they have a virtual office and you can't walk in and defend your position, if you keep coming up against it, just say, that's really common. We hear it a lot. Why do you think that is? Okay. And then you get her in her prefrontal cortex going, oh, I don't know. Well, it's because they expect I'm not a professional. They don't know that I'm part of a network of thousands of estate professionals nationwide that all help train each other. They don't know that I've dedicated hours and thousands of dollars to my education. So if it's okay with you, can we give them a call and we'll help them understand that? And I don't think there's any better way to handle it than you did. I would have been a little more aggressive just to make an impression with that law firm. And I would do a really, really good job on the back end. And I would be one of those three people the next time.
It's just uncomfortable because, you know, it's their attorney and I don't want to I used to work with attorneys, so I know how they can be, but I don't want to talk bad about them. You know, I want to work with them also. And maybe in the future, but it's a little bit interesting. But yesterday I'm like, okay, I've had it with this shit because these people don't know me and they keep on talking to my people that do want to work with me and they're preventing them. And I'm highly qualified. I lead with my heart. I'm a great person. I know what I'm doing. If anything, here in Santa Clara County, working with me is great because I have connections at the probate court. My best friend is a supervisor at probate. So you can't get better than that. But these people don't know.
I think you need to make I think this is something that I took out of the EARN course as I was producing it. I started to put in a fillable bio sheet. And then as I went through, like realizing how unique each person is, I didn't feel like I could really make a template. But for you, I'm going to say you should do this. You should make a probate professional bio sheet. Have a headshot, have your CPE logo or your CPE badge, any other credentials. Summarize your experience, put a client testimonial on there, and leave at least 3 client phone numbers for referrals.
Perfect.
Now, this is an accompaniment to you delivering this in person. Ideally, I want you to deliver this in person. Every time you hear this, you should say, oh, that's interesting. If you don't mind sharing with me, which law firm are you working with? And the second you have a free moment, go over there, bio sheet in hand, knock on the door and confidently introduce yourself and say, I just spoke to one of your clients who told me that this is how you're handling, the real estate decisions. And I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Miriam. I'm a certified probate expert. I'm a friend of the court. My friends and family work in the court, and I've got tons and tons of experience. I'm not applying for a job, but I'm telling you, they're professionals you don't know about. Here's a bio. Let me know if you want to grow your firm.
Okay. Perfect.
But face the challenge head on.
Yeah.
It gives you, and the other thing I would do is proactively approach those firms. There's probably a dozen that are playing at a high level. They're representing a lot of people. Just door knock them, take them lunch, do the drop bys, do the West Virginia drop by. It works too. Even in high net worth areas.
I was literally shaking, and then I just started laughing because I'm like, this has been my biggest fear. And that shit is over. Like, I'm going to take it on now because I'm not afraid anymore to confront, basically, in a way, these people that are taking away my opportunities or the opportunities of my clients to be helped by me. So yeah, I'm going to do that. That's a great idea.
Awesome.
One more thing. What if they say, well, you're not working, you don't live in this county? I normally say, well, as a certified probate specialist, I am specialized in probate. And the real estate part, I'm also an expert because I know the market trends. I do my homework, I do my research, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes people can't get away from the fact that I'm not in that county. Do you have anything quickly for that?
Yeah, I can only live in one place. I'm licensed in how many counties are in California? I don't remember. You said I only live in one county, but I can work in any of them. My license is a statewide license, but my skill set is a regional skill set. So for me to focus on one neighborhood, I've been in this too long. I've outgrown where I live. You would accept clients that don't live in your zip code, wouldn't you, Mr. Attorney?
Yeah, perfect.
I mean, it's an irrational judgment. Like, it's like you can't work outside of the market where you live.
Yeah.
Most of us. And pretty much every attorney does.
Exactly. But when it comes to us, it's like, no, they're not qualified. I'm like, how are you qualified? And I've even had some attorneys that say you're asking for too much money. Wait, how? Well, you're asking for too much money. It's like, how can you tell me what I'm doing is inappropriate? So it's been a very interesting.
Use how questions.
Yeah.
So when somebody says something like that to you, say, help me understand, how do you think I should price my service? Put the onus on them to tell you. Chances are they don't have a prepared answer. You'll probably get a smart ass response, in which your response can be, gee, I wonder why there's statutory limitations on how you guys get paid.
Yeah. Perfect. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, way to not take shit, Miriam. I'm proud of you. Like, keep moving forward and doing good. That's awesome.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Steve Carney, how are you, sir?
Good, Chad. How are you?
Good. How can we help you today?
A couple questions for you. First off, Chad, I really would like to see all 6'7", 240 pounds darken the doorway of someone who would give you grief or question your integrity. That'd be worth the price of admission.
Well, maybe one day we'll do a Facebook Live and we'll confront some attorneys,
right?
Do mobile home cleanouts.
Yeah, no, yeah, and make sure you're packing. I think that's good too. Hey, all kidding aside, first off, I can relate to the fact I lost my father in June, so I'm now an executor for his account, and it's really helping me as I stand up the business. I just want to know, have you ever experienced this? I'm trying to close an account at a bank for my dad, and we had an appointment, provide a letter of testamentary, which lists me. I had to go before the judge, make sure everything was straight, and also a death certificate. So next week rolls around, hey, what's the status of the account being closed? Well, now they said they wanted the will, which was really a head scratcher, because I was like, okay, you didn't ask me for that first. And secondly, what if the account was intestate? I asked that. Well, no, if there's a will, you have to provide it. So I've done that. I'm still waiting on a check. It'll be 4 weeks tomorrow. Have you ever heard of someone being asked for a will to close an account after you provided letters and a death certificate?
I think it's probably an internal banking policy. It's, every bank's going to have their own administrative policies. So I would just call and ask to speak with the branch manager, and you say, what would you think is a reasonable amount of time from the date that we close an account to actually get the distribution? Okay. Well, in this case, I've been waiting 4 weeks. Can you help me get this payment today? And I think you guys owe me a wire. I'm not waiting for a check. But
Yeah.
I would just take it to the branch manager and just say, you know, if you need more from me, I need to see written policy. Otherwise, I expect a wire by end of business. You there, Steve? Terry, you're up.
You know, just to save time for everybody, I wrote down what my question is.
Okay.
And it starts situation and testing.
Sure. So the only heir is a minor with no court acknowledged guardian. Is it acceptable for the attorney to pretend to send out a notice of proposed action for the real estate sale and then wait the 15 days? Is that the heir approval? Not.
See, there's no heirs that have a voice. There's only this one minor. She has no guardian. And the attorney is just trying to fake it and make it. You know, give me 15 days, and at the end of 15 days, we'll just go forward. Well, he already cost us an all-cash sale. But that's how he's going to plan to do the next one.
Is he the public administrator?
No, he's the attorney for the PR.
Who is the PR?
PR is actually the grandmother of the minor. And the mother of the minor was not married to the deceased son. And so the only heir is the granddaughter. And she does not have, and this was by design. The attorney told the PR, oh, it's going to take 3 years and $20,000 to get her a guardian. We can do it without. And so I didn't know this, brought in an all cash offer and blew up. You
brought the offer?
Yeah. And the title company says, well, if she doesn't have a guardian, we're not going to issue title insurance. Because the attorney was just trying to put out the notice of proposed action, wait for 15 days for no disapproval. Well, obviously there's nobody to approve or disapprove. And then after that period of time, just go forward as though we had approval.
But you're representing a buyer in this case, not the seller. Is that right?
No, I'm representing the PR.
Okay, but one of your investors also brought a cash offer.
No, it was a second. It wasn't my client. There's a second.
I see. A buyer's agent brought.
There's a buyer agent, and I'm representing the PR. I never represent both buyer and seller. Never.
Yeah, good for you. I don't either. Can't ride one horse with two hours. Can't ride two horses with one ass.
Yeah, exactly. but what's going on? The attorney is faking it and making it. And I think if the court knew about it, they would put a kibosh on that right away.
Right. Have you spoken to the attorney?
Numbers, there's no addresses, there's no individuals, there's no way it seems to complain to the court. This is California, by the way.
Yeah. Is your court, are they working virtually or are they back in the courthouse?
As far as I'm remote. I'm in Arizona. So it wouldn't do me any good even if they were not. I don't think they're remote any longer, but I might be able to send somebody else in, and I might just hire an attorney and send him in.
That's what I was thinking. Contact an attorney in that market. What county is it in?
Orange.
Bill Gross can probably help you out here. I think he may be out of town, but you might want to get in touch with him. The other
Say
person
that name again, please.
Help you. What's
say,
that?
Say, I didn't hear the name. I'm sorry.
Bill Gross could probably help you out.
Right.
I think he may be out of town, but Nina is the next one I would point you to. Nina has good attorney relationships. She's actually in law school herself. She understands the local law, and she's an advocate of families. So Nina Grayson I don't see here today, but she's a bit of a spitfire. I think she could help you out, be really valuable to you.
Yeah, and Bill is wonderful too. He already initiated a call to me on something else, and I will give him a call later today or tomorrow.
Yeah, and be sure and check in Estate Professionals Mastermind or Probate Mastery Alumni. Nina Grayson is the other person, because I think Bill's on a vacation. He couldn't be here today. So if you can't get a hold of him, it sounds like time is of the essence on this, and I might ask Nina for the help today.
Thank you.
And Kat also mentioned Renee Kishie, who is also, she's in West LA. She has attorney relationships too. And her name it's Reneekische. Don't call her Renee Quiche, by the way. Too many people do that. She's not an egg pie, she told me. It's Renee Quiche. All right. From one Terry to the next.
Hey, Chad. Thanks.
Hey.
Can you speak a little bit more to the national directory and the status of that and process?
The status is brand new. Today's the first day anyone knows about it. But where we're headed with it, we have a list of our national CPE referral list that Grant Cox put together about a year and a half ago. It's just lived in Google, like in a Google sheet where people who have bookmarked the link can get to it. Not a great resource. So we will reach out to everyone on the referral list. We will reach out to all the CPEs who have earned their certification and anyone who's taken the EARN course. Any of our students, any of our community members can be in the directory. Now, only if you have cleared the probate mastery curriculum and earned a certified probate expert designation will you have that badge, and that will be highlighted. So you'll get a priority ranking within the platform. Over time, we want to see where it grows. It could be to a point where it's a paid membership for anyone who's not credentialed as a certified probate expert, where, if vendors want to come in, they have to clear the bar by being a subscribing member. So we want to see what comes in. Like if we don't have to do any gatekeeping, we don't want to. We'd rather have it be a bigger resource. I mean, it's going to be quality over quantity. But if we don't have a quality problem, then it could continue to be a free tool forever and just a place for professionals to network. If it starts getting junked up and the quality is not there, then we'll probably put pay gates in place where it will actually be a subscription product. And as far as like ways for you to benefit from it, we'll work with EstateExec. Integrating technology systems isn't always the easiest thing in the world to do, right? So what we're hoping to do is instead of having you go to EstateExec and basically qualified to be put in manually, when somebody enters our directory, they will also enter the EstateExec checklist directory. If we can integrate everything at that level, then we could have, your whole vendor team would be presented within EstateExec and also out on just the general internet to organic traffic. We're trying to, ultimately it's a consumer value piece that if we can make it easier for consumers to find us and our vendor team leading back to us, then it's a good resource for everybody, right?
So right now it's just wait and see to get the sign up and various things along those lines.
Yeah, right now several people found it somehow organically. Then McKenna put it in the EARN course. Like you heard Bud Thompson finish the course and found that today. We haven't even emailed our members and we already have a couple dozen members in the directory. So I'm sure after today's call, we'll have several more. What we're going to do is we'll send every certified probate expert a notification that they have a profile. And then they will have to accept that profile and come in and then customize it. So you can upload your headshot, put your bio in, everything. Basically, we're reaching out to the people who are currently in our referral network and who are certified probate experts or EARN students, and they'll be invited to come back in and edit their own profile. We're not going to set it up where there's just a little avatar picture and it's full of people who aren't actually active. If you're not active and you don't accept your profile, you won't be in the directory. Or if you don't proactively, join and create your own profile.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. And we're a quarter after, and I don't see any hands up, guys. So we'll wrap it up this week. Been good to see everybody. So many familiar faces. I'm really proud you guys all these familiar faces are still here. I see a few several new faces. Sorry, I haven't been around to meet you guys in person. I've been working hard in the background. So as always, guys, thank you so much for taking time out of your day and your week to be here and contributing and sharing your stories. And collective knowledge is always impressive here. But thanks so much for being a part of it and have a great day.
Thanks, Chad. Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.